On the 15th of November 2009, an ordinary evening in Benin City, Nigeria, turned into one of the most heartbreaking and, at the same time, most powerful stories anyone in that community would ever tell. A family was sitting at home, going about their evening like any other family would, when suddenly, armed robbers stormed into their house. The robbers ransacked the home, taking whatever valuables they could find. But what happened next would turn this from a simple robbery into something far darker. The armed men grabbed a 14-year-old girl named Vivian along with her elder sister and dragged both of them out of the house into a nearby bush away from any help. Once inside the bush, the robbers made their intentions clear. They attempted to defile Vivian. This was the moment that would define everything that came after. Most people, faced with armed men and a life-threatening situation like this, would do whatever it took just to survive, even if it meant enduring the unthinkable. But Vivian was not like most people. She refused, completely and firmly. She refused to let the men touch her. This was not because she did not understand the danger she was in. It was not out of confusion or fear clouding her judgment. Vivian understood exactly what was at stake, her own life, and she made her choice anyway. She told the armed men in that terrifying moment that she would rather be shot dead than allow herself to be defiled by them. And she did not stop there. Even while facing her own possible death, Vivian turned to her elder sister and kept telling her the same thing, urging her sister not to give in either, no matter what the robbers threatened to do to them. This was a 14-year-old girl standing in a dark bush surrounded by armed men, thinking not just about protecting herself, but about protecting her sister too. As the struggle between Vivian and her attackers continued, something happened. Her defiance, her refusal to comply, created just enough of a distraction. In the chaos of the moment, her sister saw an opening and ran. She escaped from the bush and made her way back home, leaving Vivian behind with the armed men. When the sister arrived home, alone and shaken, the family immediately noticed that Vivian was missing. They asked her the question every parent would ask in that particular moment: "Where is your sister?" Through tears and fear, she told them everything that had happened in the bush, how the robbers had taken them both, what they had tried to do, and how she had managed to escape while Vivian stayed behind. Without wasting another second, the family rushed back to the bush to search for Vivian. What they found there would confirm every fear they had felt while making that desperate walk to the bush. Vivian's lifeless body lay in the bush. She had been shot by the robbers. But here is the detail that transformed Vivian's death from just another tragic crime statistic into something the whole world would eventually hear about. She had not been violated. Despite everything the armed men had tried to do to her, Vivian had fought until the very end, and she had won that fight even though it cost her her life. To truly understand why Vivian made the choice that most people in her position never would, choosing a bullet over dishonor, you have to understand who Vivian Uchechi Ogu really was and what she stood for. Long before that fateful night, Vivian was born in Benin City on the 1st of April 1995. She was the second of 4 children in a devoted Catholic family. From a very young age, it became clear that Vivian was different. She was known as one of the most intelligent pupils in her class at the Air Force Nursery and Primary School. But her real passion was not just academics, it was her faith. At the age of 9, Vivian became deeply involved in church activities, a level of commitment rarely seen in someone so young. When the Holy Childhood Association was formed at her parish, St. Paul Catholic Church, Vivian was chosen as its very first president. In this role, she did far more than most children her age would even think to do. She organized fundraising efforts to help pay hospital bills for sick children at Central Hospital in Benin City, and she led visits to orphanages, personally reaching out to children who had no families of their own. Vivian also became the choir mistress of the children's choir at her parish, guiding and organizing children with a level of maturity that impressed everyone around her. Under her leadership, the choir grew significantly and began winning competitions year after year. Beyond her local church, Vivian also served as a prayer leader in her school, where she was known for encouraging her fellow students to live pure and virtuous lives. At the very heart of everything Vivian believed in was the idea of chastity and purity. she had learned about a young Italian girl named Saint Maria Goretti, who decades earlier had also died defending her own purity rather than submit to an attacker. This story deeply moved Vivian, and from that moment forward, she made it her mission to teach other children about purity, faithfulness, and sacrifice, using Maria Goretti's story as an example. Vivian did not just talk about these values from a distance, she lived them openly and boldly. She was known to tell other children around her that they should rather die as virgins than allow themselves to be defiled, no matter the cost involved. It was a message she repeated often to anyone who would listen, long before she ever imagined that she would one day have to live out those exact words herself. And on the very morning of the day she died, in a moment that almost feels impossible to believe, Vivian stood up and preached to other children about purity and virginity, even unto death. Hours later, that same evening, armed robbers broke into her home, and Vivian found herself living out, in the most literal and final way possible, everything she had spent her short life teaching others. News of what happened to Vivian spread quickly, first through her community, then across the wider Catholic Archdiocese of Benin City, and eventually far beyond Nigeria's borders. People everywhere were struck by the story of a 14-year-old girl who had chosen death over dishonor, who had fought to protect not just herself, but her sister too, in her final moments alive. In the honor of her sacrifice, the government of Edo State granted the very land where Vivian was killed to the Catholic Archdiocese of Benin City. Local authorities later renamed the street where the tragedy occurred after her. In 2019, the Edo State government went a step further, launching the Vivian Ogu Sexual Assault Referral Center, a facility created specifically to support survivors of sexual assault, forever tying her name to the protection and healing for others who had suffered similar trauma. Within the Catholic Church, Vivian's story took an even deeper significance. In 2014, the Archbishop of Benin City formally established what became known as the Vivian Ogu Movement, an organization dedicated to preserving her story, protecting the land where she died, and encouraging people to seek her spiritual intercession. In 2019, Pope Francis himself recognized Vivian, selecting her as one of only 25 global examples of missionary heroism from around the entire world. Her story was shared with Catholic bishops everywhere, introducing her sacrifice to millions of people who had never heard her name before. Then, in October 2023, the Catholic Archdiocese of Benin City took one of the most significant steps yet, officially opening the course of beatification and canonization for Vivian. For those unfamiliar with what this actually means, beatification and canonization are formal steps within the Catholic Church that eventually lead to someone being officially recognized as a saint. It involves careful investigation into a person's life, their faith, and the circumstances of their death, gathering testimonies from anyone who can speak to their character and their reputation for holiness. Vivian was given the title Servant of God, an important early step on this long and detailed path toward possible sainthood. Despite this progress, the movement supporting her cause has faced its own challenges along the way, including skepticism from some who question why Vivian specifically has been chosen for this honor when so many other girls have also suffered and died resisting similar attacks. Supporters of her cause explained that Vivian's case stands out not only because of the tragic way she died, but because of the years of genuine dedicated faith and service she poured into her community while she was still alive. Today, Vivian Ogu is remembered every year on the 15th of November, the anniversary of her death, through a memorial day observed by the Catholic Archdiocese of Benin City. Children and teenagers continue to visit the Vivian Ogu Missionary Animation Center, learning about her life and being encouraged to follow the values she stood for. Vivian's story remains one of the most talked about examples of courage, faith, and sacrifice to come out of Nigeria in recent memory. The story of a 14-year-old girl who, in her final and most terrifying moments, chose to stay true to everything she believed in, no matter the price she had to pay. What do you think about Vivian's story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like it and also subscribe to this channel for more powerful true crime stories.